Environmental and physical factors are a very wide variety and range of things. So I'm obviously just going to outline a few. Let's start with environmental factors. As a personal trainer, it all depends on where you are training your client. Let's say it is not in a gym and it is outside. It is outside, let's say for example in on the grass, does your client have does your client have a mat? Does your client have the right equipment? Is it cold? Is it hot? Does your client have enough space to move around? Have you created a safe space for your client? Is it closed up? Does your client feel I did say safe, yes. Okay, then equipment. Does your client have proper and sufficient equipment? Is the equipment safe? Does your client know how to use the equipment? And then if your client once again is outside, have you provided sunscreen for your client? Small things like that. Is there water close by, etc. Right, then there's also facilities. Oh yes, okay, so for example, let's say if you are in a gym, if you have your client in a gym, are they exposed to all the facilities that they can make use of? Do they have a variety of exercises? Can they swim if they want to? Can they play squash if they want to? Can they use different exercises? Can they use free range apparatus, or can they use the machines, etc.? Yes, have you given them the knowledge of, maybe they struggle with their feet, maybe their feet pronate or supinate? Have you provided them with the knowledge of the right shoes that they need to wear? Are you dressed in a suitable manner? Are they wearing jewelry? Have you advised them to not wear jewelry so that they don't get injured? When we're talking about space, I mean, have you spaced yourself in a way that makes them comfortable to move around you and makes you comfortable to move around them, that doesn't bother them while they're exercising? Then when we're talking about physical factors, this is also very wide. The physical factors can be your client itself. After giving your client the paper to fill out and making sure that your client is safe to exercise with you, it's important to actually, I would feel, to make sure, is your client sick? Let's say for example just the common cold or flu. Has your client had enough rest? Does your client know that he or she needs to have rest after they have been on antibiotics? If they're on antibiotics, they shouldn't be training. That they should be careful if they do have hypertension. Should they be training with you? Should they not? How is their posture? Do they have any injuries? If they do have injuries, what are you doing to prevent them from further injuring themselves? For example, can you change the workouts according to their needs? You can't do, let's say for example, if your client has knee problems, you can't do let's say for example jumping exercises. That would be hard on the knees. You'd have to change the exercises up. If you're doing group exercises, Are you meeting each and every one of your client's needs? Are you doing, um, what do you call it? Are you assessing each client? Are you meeting their goals? Have you asked them what their goals are? Is your client obese? Is your client underweight? Have you helped them with their diet, etc., etc.? So there is many external factors that play a big role to your clients that you need to be aware of. And yeah, I think that's very important. And it's also important to build a very good relationship with your client, obviously in a professional sense, so that you know that your client feels that you are someone they can look up to and rely on.